All right, happy Friday, June the 2nd. I guess we can actually call it summertime, right? James chapter 4, verses 7 and 8. Therefore submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Purify your hearts. Now, if we're talking physically, we got a problem. But guess what? We've got a problem already. We've got a problem as fallen, broken people in God's creation. God's creation was perfect. It is good, God said. And then finally, when he looked at all of creation, he said, it is very good. And then Satan, temptation, sin, it all created this fallen existence that we're all under a bondage of, and yet God has given us Jesus to free us from that bondage. You know what, though? If left on our own, we will seek our own way, and Proverbs tells us that leads to destruction. James says and tells us to do what's right. All right. Here you go. If you're reading this or watching this or whatever, I agree with James. Do what's right. You know what? This is the right thing to do. This is the wrong thing to do. All right, it's pretty clear. Which are we going to do? Let's do the right thing. You see, if we want an intimate walk with God, we got to do our part. God's done his part. He's made a way. God has given us salvation. God has given us redemption and regeneration, and he's given us his Spirit to fill us, to guide us, to give us wisdom and direction, and to teach us the things of God. You see, James refers to his audience as double-minded. There are people within James's audience that are double-minded. They want the world, they want God. They're trying to do both, you see. People want it both ways. And the double-minded are the people who want to do it both ways, and God says you can't do it both ways. We spent the first quarter of this year on Sundays considering the disciplines of our faith. These are things that we need to do every day to encourage and grow and maintain our intimacy with God. Now, your list may look different from mine. I used a book that I've used for probably 25 years that had 6 things that we're supposed to engage in every day to encourage and promote and maintain intimacy with God. See, James gives us a little short list right here, right? That if we do these things, we will develop a humility with God, you see? And then James says, and God gives grace to the humble. James gives us a short list to live by. Here you go. Submit to God. Resist the devil. Draw near to God. You see? All right, so submitting to God is that humble submission. Resisting the devil, turning from, drawing near to God in prayer, worship, Bible study, fellowship, service. You see? Draw near to God in those things, you see. Cleanse. All right. When I fail, all right, God, forgive me. Cleanse me of my unrighteousness. And finally, purify. Purify is a process of God's refining. A lot of times people suffer even in their Christian walk. And I say, guess what? Sometimes suffering is the heat of refining. Okay? James 4:7. I love these 2 verses. And this is the last day for consideration of these, but think about it. Therefore, submit to God. Resist the devil. He will flee from you. Draw near to God. He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Wow. Can you remember those 5 things? Yes. Let's engage in those 5 things every day, all day. See you next week.